What is going on, everybody? Alfred Esmond here with World Baseball Network, joined by a special guest. We have Will Baker out of Georgia Tech, a native of Australia. Will, thank you for taking the time to be with us today.
Of course, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, so before we'll obviously get into Georgia Tech and the college baseball side of things, but before we do that, I kind of want to get into Australia and whatnot because over at World Baseball Network, we deal a ton with international baseball. It is like the primary thing we cover. So just, briefly to someone who has no idea, about about baseball in Australia and what it's like, give them a rundown of kind of the culture that baseball has in that country.
I'd say it's a growing sport, definitely. I'd say people like Bazana have definitely blown it up since going
Mhm.
1-1. So it's definitely getting a lot more uh, coverage, I'd say, on the news and stuff like that. As far as like the baseball goes, you got the professional league, the ABL, which is the Australian Baseball League. That's you get pro guys, college guys will go out there, draft guys, um, and that's pretty big. You'll get big crowds to those games. That's pretty fun for juniors. You got state teams, and then you got the Australian teams. So really, you just work with your state like manager, and you'll develop in their program, and then compete for your state, and then hopefully get picked to compete for Australia. That's kind of how the whole process works.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you
so
have aspirations at all for playing for Australia one day and anything international event wise?
yeah, I mean, if it comes around, I do hear rumors about baseball being in the Olympics. So
Oh,
that would be really cool, of course. But if it comes around, of course, I'd look in. Yeah, of course, like I'd look into it.
yeah. And then talk about, there's other players I've noticed in college baseball from Australia and stuff. Do you guys talk at all? Do you have a lot of friends, who are over here in the States playing just like you are?
Yeah, I mean, I know a few guys. There's not really a whole lot of guys my age who went into college. A lot of them went pro, but that's kind of like a typical route, sign when you're 16, 17, 18. I mean, a few guys I did talk to Bazana when leading up to the draft and when he was a freshman, stuff like me. For me coming over to college, he was quite helpful because I'd asked him questions about, like leading up to actually getting into college, things you should know and do before getting here. So he was really helpful with that. I mean, he's a great guy. And no, as far as the other college guys go, I'd say a lot of the people my age went pro. So I know a lot of the pro guys, but um, college guys, no, I wouldn't. I don't really know a whole lot of them.
No, that's
I
all
don't. I
good.
know of them. I know of them. I know there's
Mhm.
a Brent Iredale at Arkansas. And I hear he's doing really good over there.
Oh,
So that's great
yes.
to hear. That's great to hear. I don't actually talk to him. Um, but I mean, you know, it sounds great that what he's doing is pretty cool. So I'm all for it.
Right. Yeah. And the interesting part about all that, like you said, a lot of guys, they do the pro route instead and stuff. How does a guy like you hear about, well, Georgia Tech, you know what I mean? Being in Australia and stuff. Go through that process with me.
Yeah, I mean, my older brother went straight out of high school to UCF. So going straight out of high school to college was kind of unheard of unless you went to junior college. And he went D1. So um, it was kind of like his idea to study and play at the same time.
Hmm.
And I mean, really, it's just been a whole try and study, try and stay on top of your academics. There's a life after baseball, you know. Sometimes it's hard to remember, but there's a life after baseball. And no, so hearing about Georgia Tech, of course, you always watch highlights on YouTube and stuff
Mm.
like that about college baseball. Um, so I'd say I was more. favorable to the college route just because my brother did it. Um, yeah, I would say I was a big part of it. It was my brother, is the fact that he went over here and went to college straight away. So that was kind of what stirred me into, not like picking college over pro,
Hmm.
but um, like I said, I kind of had a little bit of a favorite towards going to college.
Right. What so and because of your brother and stuff, going to college was a huge deal. Did the education side of things kind of help that as well, like you mentioned?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It 100%. Yeah, seeing like what his path was through college to like jumping around a few schools and then getting a degree and stuff like that, and then staying in the States with a job. I think that was huge for me because I realized that a lot of the pro guys, like a fair lot of the pro guys will go back to Australia. And yeah, I think it was really cool to see what my brother did, which was come here, study, get educated, and then stay in the US. And I thought that was kind of cool. Plus, education's kind of been a big thing that I've always thought about, that I've always valued. That was a big reason also why I chose tech
Hmm.
as well. Um, they're really good at I'm studying construction. They're really good at that. So I think that's kind of what piqued my interest when it came to coming to college and then also coming to tech as well.
Of course, yeah. I'm gonna flip gears a little bit back to Australia and just,
Yeah.
your past life getting into baseball. Did you have any players you liked watching growing up? They can be from Australia. They don't have to be. Just anyone in particular that stands out to you that you liked watching?
Uh, I gotta be honest, I didn't watch a whole lot of baseball growing up. I actually watched a
Wow.
whole lot of Australian football. I didn't actually watch a
Interesting.
whole lot of baseball. I played Australian football and baseball all the way up until I was probably 15. And then you could say I kind of went, more bait. Like I chopped off footy and I decided to pursue baseball,
Hmm.
full time. I don't know if that's the word for it, but
I know
you
what you
know,
mean. Yeah.
yeah,
What?
like I dropped footy off, but I didn't watch a whole lot of baseball growing up.
That's so interesting. Give me and everyone else, a rundown of Australian football. Just like a basic dummy version, real quick.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's a great game. It's played on an oval. The field kind of looks like an oval, and the
Hmm.
ball is oval shaped. So it's kind of like your American football without the pointy ends. You kick it, you hand pass it, you mark it, which is when you kick and catch. That's a mark, and then there's four posts, two really tall ones, and then two shorter ones just outside that. And they have different points, of course. If you kick it between the tall ones, you get 6 points. Between
Hmm.
the outer ones, you get one. So it's
Very
it's a
cool.
fun game. I really do. I really love it. I still watch the highlights on YouTube of the games when when
Yeah.
they're played. Yeah, I still tune in to watch the highlights. My sister lives down in Melbourne, which is like they have so many pro teams down there. She loves
Hmm.
it. She's got a membership to the which is the MCG, which is the biggest sporting ground in Australia.
That
So
is awesome. That's so
yeah,
cool. Have you put your teammates onto this yet? Your new teammates or anything? Or are they not, are they
no,
not, they're not catching on
they know
yet?
about it. They do know about it that I played it, but no, I've showed them for sure because they've never heard of it.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I really enjoyed it. Like letting go of AFL was kind of tough because I really enjoyed playing AFL
Hmm.
in the winter and then playing baseball in the summer.
Right. It kept you busy all the time, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I loved it for the fitness. I loved it for the camaraderie with all the boys hanging out. I actually liked the game as well. I played
Right.
it when I was, 7, 8 years old, all the way until I was 15. So
There you go.
I
Very
played
cool
for
side
a long
story.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
What
I love it. So
And I'll flip back to Georgia Tech now. You obviously, we're a little over a month away from the college baseball season starting.
yeah,
Talk about what you guys as a team have been working on. I'm pretty excited. I mean, I think, there's a lot of talk always about the SEC growing and stuff. The ACC is right there. and you guys are right in the thick of that as a baseball program that's growing rapidly. Talk about what you guys have done as a team in preparation for the season and what you guys are going to continue doing up until the season starts a little over a month from now.
Yeah, I'd say when we first came in here, it was all about culture. I think that was the first thing, just establishing a culture, which is good because it establishes a base. We're known as a really, really good hitting school,
Hmm.
and we've produced really good hitters for a really long time. So, and there's a certain culture that goes along with our hitting program. We're tough outs. We battle, and we try and hit the ball really, really hard. And I think that was a big thing coming in. Like when we first came in, it was, look, guys, this is what we're trying to do. This is our approach at the plate. Um, and this is how we're going to get the job done. This is how we've always got the job done at Tech when it comes to hitting. So I really enjoyed that for continuing into the season. I think you know, we have our approach and all that kind of stuff that we stick to with each pitcher, but just working on as a team, keeping ourselves to a high standard. Like Tech's recruiting classes have been crazy for the last
Hmm.
3 4 years, right? We've brought in really really good kids. So how can we keep our standard of, look, we are that good of a team if we all produce, and that all starts with culture, of course. That all starts with, look, this is what we're trying to do. Go out there and execute. That's the big thing. You can have all this talent, but if you can't execute, it doesn't matter.
Very good. Well, Will, I think that's about sums up everything we have today. Thank you for joining us. Very excited for you in your freshman season over down in Atlanta. Excited for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets this year. I think you guys are going to surprise a lot of people. And
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch it. So thank you again for joining us today.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. And from Alfred Esmond, this has been World Baseball Network, an interview. Check us out and other baseball news over on worldbaseball.com.